Hello guys, welcome to Boyka Gamer YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about that why a certain person or certain player or you are losing to someone lower than your might or lower than the sprite that you're using, or they have lesser CB or lesser other mechanism in the game, and yet they are winning against you. And this is the first episode of Mythbuster with Boyka Gamer, or you can say Mythbuster with Boyka. So let's dive in and understand the whole mechanism behind the battle. So this episode will be having the information about why it's essential to understand every single variables in the game to win, because it's not just plug and play game. This game, the Bloodline Heroes of Lithas, is interesting for me because of several reasons. One of those is you can't win this game just because you are throwing money on it. You need to really work on your game profile. You need to work on your champions, you need to work on your traits, your vigor, and then your sprites. Then now the new thing is astrolobe. There are a lot of tiny variables, uh, the traits in the sprite, the traits in celestial bonds. Every single variables in this game mechanism really affects your battle. It affects your win and lose on the battlefield. Now, the reason I created this segment of Mythbuster with Boyka, it's like a lot of things is happening in the game. Many people are playing the game, but they don't understand what is really happening there. What are the calculations are there? What kind of math is mathing there, or it's not mathing, or it's just the irrelevant numbers throwing around. So a lot of things is happening which people are not discussing or not talking, or they don't know about it. They just play, they just spend money on the stuff, and they win and lose. It's like 50-50% of chances. But what if I say that there is a way of understanding your game profile, your champions, that will make your winning 99% sure. I'm not saying that it will be like 100% of wins. It will be like 99% or 98% because of when you understand all of the variables. Now, there are, according to my case studies, what I have known until now is that uh, when you have a account like a big account, middle account, or small account, it's very important right now is in the game is sprites, because they contribute a lot to your might. And for example, I am using a very normal sprite like epic fox and epic horse. So they don't give too much of stats, they don't have too much fancy skills on them, but they are very easily accessible and very easily gainable, because I'm playing from past 1.5 years. So I have done several summoning with the egg and I have got them. But if you are a new player or someone, so I don't think so it's a very good option, because the drop rate from the eggs are really bad. So you can just put your money on the premium ones. But I'm just saying, like, we have most of the old players have normal sprites. And what happens when you're fighting with someone with a premium sprite, the skills they have, it's very uh, strong on the battlefield. Like the one with the shield, there is a one with has a true damage, there's a one with the power to stun you. So this makes the battle feel very much towards their side because of the sprites. Now, the sprite is a major contributor on your might or the battlefield. There are other things also like your CB. In CB you get damage reduction, you get strength, constitution, and other stuff. Same for the GS, you get boost in your STR, constitution, and fortitude. So same way. And nowadays there is another way of increasing your power is astrolabe. And I see that it's really contributing, it's really affecting the battles, because you can get critical rates there, you can get critical evade rate from there, you can get your strength stat, and then you can also get your constitution. There are a lot of stats you can get from your astrolabe, and it's really effective. Now let's say in my case study I have seen that there is a one player who is almost like 3 or 4 billion, but they keep losing to someone half their might. So here can be two conditions. First, the smaller team which is winning against them, either they are not using fortitude runes, because most of the time people like me, I call myself noob because I use fortitude runes. I use level 10 fortitude runes on all of my champions. I do this only to inflate my might, just to show my might bigger. Because when I had a smaller might, I was not having fun in VOC because of all the normal players. It was not fun anymore. So I tried to inflate my might to go in the higher roster to have fun. But I will not recommend any player, anyone, to use fortitude runes because it does nothing. It only inflates your might, and which will do you more harm than good. So now what is there's a smaller might team or player, they don't use the fortitude. Now what happens? And the one who is 3 or 4 billion, they are using fortitude. So in the comparison of might, they might look double the size, but in reality, the strength which really matters in the scaling of skills and everything, they both are similar or somewhat little different. Because of fortitude, the numbers are too much high for his might, but the strength will be not that high because of it's like equal, like they both have 15 stars sprites and everything. Now what happened, the small account, maybe they have a premium sprite, and the one with the higher might maybe have a normal sprites. So this also contributes a lot, because as you can see the stats from the sprite, the newer sprites give you higher stats compared to the old ones. Now this also gives a major hand up to the smaller account or smaller might player to win against you. Now these two scenarios were until guardians were not launched. Now the guardians are in the play. So the guardians star really matters a lot. So most of the players right now, even me, I have my guardians at 18 star or 19 star maximum. Only the bigger whales or big spenders have all their guardians at 20 star. So this star also matters a lot. And then the other thing which is attached to the guardian is the skill books. Skill books is really very much headache to gain, and it's very tough for a mid spender or zero spender to get enough guardian books to make your guardian work as efficient it should be. So now what happens, if a small account, a small might person has spent a good money on starting up his guardian, he is using the equipments of guardian. As you can see, the guardian's equipment are very expensive. It's for 43,000 tokens from the shop of the guardian event. And talking about the tokens, I will be making another video, but that token is really very big headache, because you get that token from the wheel of guardian, which is really very bad drop rates. It's so bad, like getting 43k, it's too much. You need at least 500 or 600 of spins to get that much of tokens, and that only will give you one equipment, just one sword or one, whichever you want out of four. So now the small account person who is spending, he has a premium, he or she has a premium sprites, he or she is not using a 42 runes, plus they have start their guardian to the max, they have given the skills the max skills because of the books they have, and now they are also having the runes, the attack runes, and then they have orange runes which increases the damage. So now what happens when when we are seeing someone's might while fighting? It's in the Lexus or other modes. We just see the might, but we don't understand the real mechanism or what is really happening behind the scene. Why this small account is getting so much better results than this bigger account. Even Lexus also you can see a very good punch ups because of this reason. So this is the reason why a big account is losing to a small account. There are a lot of players who were the old players and they lost the interest in the game. So they're not upgrading their champions. They are not investing anymore in the game, even though they have a bigger might like 3 or 4 billion. But they are not changing the positions or they are not doing anything the champion. So the person the like for example me or someone who is like 1.5 billion or 2 billion, they can kill them easily. So but the scenario over here is like they are not investing anymore on their champions, so it might look like, oh wow, your punch up, but the punch up is only coming because of the lack of the work behind the champions. Now, as I have already said, that Sprite gives you the wings, it gives you power, and then after the Sprite, you get your more energy from Celestials, then you get Sprite, traits, everything. Then I said about the Astrolabe, then I have said about the Guardian Stars, and then the Guardian equipments, Guardian books, and the runes. These all are there. Plus now out of this still there is scenario of the sprites combinations. Like there are the sprite combinations which works very fine. Like the combo of Bulko and Cat. It was a very good combo because it gave 56% of extra damage for the first 10 seconds. But that combo is not working that much anymore because of Athron and Faith. But still, this combo works good for the Team 2 and Team 3. So because people, normal everyone has the Faith and Athron together in the Team 1. So that could be harder to kill with this combo. But when you're talking about second or third team, this combo really works well because the barrage damage or the outburst damage is not reduced by any other form. So this really works good if you're using the combo. Then there is another combo running around is skeleton and the chest guy, the guy with the tongue out, and pick. People are using this combo, or they are using the chest guy, skeleton, and cat. So these are the few combos that people are using nowadays to make most out of the team they are using. And recently, Goat has launched a new feature in your sprite section. Like you can use 9 sprites at the same time. You can assign 3 sprites to your different rosters, and this is really good thing. I will be making a next another video on this. It's a really good thing how it can really affect a battlefield because all the sprites have a different traits, a different skills which can really manipulate or which can very much affect the battlefield. For example, if you are using skeleton with the frosty, skeletons multiple or spammy shield keeps the frosty alive for longer. And when you're talking about if you have a champion like the void or some other champion or like nexus who gets resolved faster when your opponent is incapacitated, so that time for her peak works very fine. So this way there are a lot of champions who will be more and more dangerous, who will get more and more profound used with a selective sprite. So I think this was very good idea from the goat. I know this feature will be only be used by our top players, but still I really support this idea because it really makes the game much fun. I will make the separate video on this. Let's come back to the Mythbuster episode 1. So we have seen why really might doesn't matters. It really matters how someone is working. And the main part of this episode, even though you have worked everything on your guardian skills, book, runes, stars, and your sprite and everything, you will see two players who have exact same sprites, exact same champions, yet one wins, another loses. So there is also one dynamic of team positioning. So the positioning really matters a lot. The way you position your champion really matters a lot in the battlefield. Maybe most of people just don't give too much of attention to it, don't give too much of care about it. But I have seen in my case studies that you can win against a opponent which you were losing constantly just by changing few of the positions. Now the positions really matters a lot. Now the second thing, after positions, what really matters, the another very big thing that impacts on your battlefield is how you have created your account. There are many different kind of accounts you can create. First is defensive kind, attack kind, crit crit kind, burst damage kind, or you can have an account which have sustain damage kind which can take damage and then attack. And then there is account which very good survivability. And so there are like 6 to 7 types of accounts that you can make. So that also very much affect your battlefield even though you have higher sprites and everything. For example, if someone has created, like they have given in astrolabe or in other modes or in celestial bond, higher number to the critical rate or critical evade rate. So now what happens? They have the higher critical rate or critical damage. So they will be doing a lot of damage in the battlefield even with the same stats with against a champion. So that's why it affects. Oh, this is the second thing that really affects your battlefield a lot. The third thing, according to me, that affects a lot, and it's a very big thing that affects, is the traits. Using a right trait on your champion can really make a lot of difference in the battlefield. Traits, we have a lot of options nowadays. We have so much of traits that can increase your strength, that can increase your damage. Now we have a trait which can also increase your healing proficiency. And then you have the trait which can which are most of the debuffs which have reduced the speed of your opponent, and then which can reduce the crit damage from your opponent. A lot of things is there. You can increase the damage taken of your opponent, and when they attack you their constitution recovery stops. So lot of variety of traits we have to choose from. And it's very smart thing and it's very critical thing to choose a right trait for a champion. And how you can do that? Okay, so how you can choose the right trait? Mostly I will say, just not, I will not go too much deep in it. I will just say it really depends on what kind of champion it is there and what kind of skills they have. So you can really understand like which trait can really work effectively with their skills. So that's how I work. Maybe people other work in different ways, but that's how I work. Rest. And these are the my case studies, like why even with every single thing higher or maxed and on high level still you lose to a smaller opponent, is because of multiple reasons, as I've said it today. And I will be coming up with more episodes like this, Mythbuster with Boyka. If you like it, do like and subscribe it and share with your friends. And at the end of the episode, I will say that this is really a myth, that you to win a battlefield you need a bigger might or you need to spend more. It's not about the might in the game. It depends on the mechanism, it depends on the what of the variables you're using correctly. So I will say in this episode of Mythbuster that this myth has been busted, that a bigger might means a win-win and a smaller might means a lose-lose. Even a smaller might can win against a bigger might. 1 billion, 2 billion, what do we say, punch up is not a big thing. It's really possible. Thank you for listening me, and see you in the next episode of Mythbuster with Boyka.